I'm maybe not the best person to ask about feeling uncomfortable reading something, because I don't want to say, I don't like to use the word desensitized, but I've been accustomed to reading lurid content, both as an academic and as an author, and then previously in my earlier career as a police officer for many, many years. So I can really go on how I see my students respond to content that, again, maybe forces them to reframe issues or to consider things that to them might be a little bit uncomfortable. And certainly, I mean, just in the university setting generally, what they call reader response criticism and how readers respond to works is becoming its own area of study. Based on just my own observations in this same vein, I see that students will respond to, and I'm speaking specifically with respect to some of my crime courses, respond to texts in a way that reflects their inner narrative, their worldview, if you will. Everyone has an inner narrative whereby they and the people in their lives and the settings in which they operate have some narrative purpose, some storytelling structure. They are characters in their own sort of inner dialogue. When a book is able to disrupt that and have them reframe that world is when we really see the power of the word over, again, other storytelling mediums in invoking those very visceral responses. It's funny that in an age of immediate access to all forms of content, all forms of information, and really where there's few, if any, restrictions on accessing content that would previously be very difficult to procure, students are, again, still unnerved, are still shaken by certain content that, again, only the book, only the power of the book can really seem to conjure. They're used to seeing very sort of graphic, very lurid, very provocative images, on some kind of screen. I mean, we live in a world pervaded by screens, but to return to something like, the book as something that can deliver that same content, but in a different form, I find that because we are so inundated with images, when students are required to create those own images in their heads, it's far more, again, provocative and compelling than anything they've actually ever seen. So really, the book's power to create images in one's own mind over a manufactured image. I'm going to go back to the inner narrative that I talked about before. The students, readers generally, seem to do a much better job at creating those images internally than anything even the most celebrated director or producer could create.